Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto got harem with Erasa? If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. Prologue. Exiled. Naruto, you are here banished in Konoha. You are a threat for the safety of the whole village by almost losing control to the Nine Tails Beast chakra. I order you as the Lady Fifth Hokage, you are now stripped from your duties as Ninja of the Leaves. You will be temporarily exiled out the great village until further notice. Until then you are not allowed to enter the village. When the conversation was finished, the heart shattered like piece of glass, make the blonde going into tears for the first sense, the day he found out being the human sacrifice of the strongest Tails beast in existence. He leaves the room without a word to the woman that he thought of her as mother, but realized that she had to think of the village safety before the people you love. He didn't know where to go or how he going to survive in this cruel shinobi world. Well, that's happening with the emotionless blonde heading to his very crappy old home. In the mindscape. The old fox mutters to himself, that brat was a fool to believe in false persona, to be so easygoing, makes me hate all these stupid humans, are such greed, arrogant, selfish and etc. This is why I can't stand people like these shinobi. But the only human respect beside my creators was that foreigner, was the only one I kind respect, but why can't people be like him? He shook his head, then went back to sleep. The very former energetic unpredictable ex-ninja was in no mood to talk to anyone until he gets a knock on the door. "Hey, Naruto, are you home?" said the very familiar voice, pervy sage tone and worry tone. The blonde gets of his bed in the slow matter, not care on the man at patience. "What do you want, pervy sage? I not in the mood to talk to you," said an uncaring tone to toad sage. "I was about to ask on how you doing, since it not the right idea, but I want you come with to my training trip with me. I guess you are out of luck since the Lady Fifth banished thee out of the village for losing of control of the demon's power, but I was wish, but thanks for understanding, but excuse, I need to pack my stuff so I can be free from this cursed village, to free to be on my own, and I found a family along the way to treat me with respect without looks of disappointment or cold stares every single." Jiraiya was starstruck on the whole information from the kid that was broken mental his whole life. "I want to give you this when you become Chunin or stronger enough to handle the situation, but these are your parents' scrolls, they want to give it to you one day if anything happened to them. Kid, they love you so much they sacrifice their lives to protect you from being stabbed by the Nine Tails, using their body as a shield. Thank you, I've been waiting for someone to tell me that I had parents and love me by save." For the first, a young 13-year-old is crying in joy with a genuine smile on his whisker face. Hug the man like a son would do for their fathers, make the older man hug him back with fatherly love. "Well, kid, I hope to see you one day maybe, but here's a map of country called Japan. There you might find a new home, where you don't have worry about the Akatsuki from capturing you from harm. That will be for the best for now, but I put a seal on you to track your movement at all times." He whispers the information in his ear. "Alright kid, sorry about holding up your time," waving his hand after vanishing in poof of smoke. "This will be last time that Naruto Uzumaki take crap from anybody. If I find family, I hope they understand my situation, unlike certain. That will be last time they ever see the most unpredictable former ninja in this continent." Ending prologue. It's not going to be like the show or not manga of Naruto. Captain Anbu from Root came out of the shadows and informed the rest of the group who were hidden to capture the Jinchuriki at any cost for Lord Danzo. While that was happening. In the woods. Naruto was thinking about where he was going to live now since he was banished. He thought of going to the wave country, but he wouldn't let anybody be in danger. How he began to take the pace. A group of rude Anbu jumped in front of him. "Naruto Uzumaki, you have to come with us in order to have an audience with Lord Danzo." In the woods. Naruto was thinking about where he was going to live now since he was banished. He thought of going to the wave country, but he wouldn't let anybody be in danger. How he began to take the pace. A group of rude Anbu jumped in front of him. "Naruto Uzumaki, you have to come with us in order to have an audience with Lord Danzo." "No, I won't be used as a tool ever again with nobody." Naruto starts fighting for his life using his shadow clones. The fighting went on for 15 minutes. The old genin was extremely irritated. The boy released a portion of the Kyuubi chakra unconsciously by going two tails. Captain Anbu takes a chakra seal out of his pocket and places it over the boy's head, rendering the boy unconscious. He was on the verge of being an odd man with spiky black hair with an orange guy with blue braces was standing in front of him out of nowhere. The Anbu root was scared and went into a fighting position. "You shouldn't meddle in shinobi's affairs, no matter who you are." The man eventually says that you shouldn't be taking advantage of someone who is weaker than you and treats him as if he were nobody. "You don't tell us where to go. We have to take this man out." One by one, they used various hand seals from the earth, fire, lightning, and wind to combine their attack in a powerful jutsu. It was headed in its direction with great speed and appeared to be a direct hit at the man. But, unbeknownst to them, the man teleported himself after them by giving a chop to their neck, rendering them unconscious at great speed. He's got the unconscious kid with the bag. See the 13-year-old boy recall his son Gohan during the Cell games 2 years ago. He looks around his surroundings and feels a bit of someone nearby, but the main goal is to give him a senzu bean from Korin. He teleports them to Korin. The dark white creature called Zetsu has arrived. The white half said that was no ordinary person, the black half said not just strong, he can sense our presence as well. We need to report this to Madara about the Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tails Fox and about the stranger taking the boy. The plant creature emerges in the ground without leaving any trace. At an unknown location. A man awaited Zetsu. A few minutes later, the plant man appears and tells Madara that we have a problem about the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. The man in the mask says what is the problem. As white and black Zetsu gave their report to their leader, they said the man was wearing an orange outfit with black hair standing at 5'9" in height. They continue on saying that the man was using a strange teleport technique by using his 2 fingers and disappeared without a trace and almost forgot. The kid was banished from his village, said the white Zetsu. As they finished their report, the masked man spoke. You should signal him to the pain and tell him to postpone the plan to 4 years to capture the vessel of the tail beast. Zetsu says alright my lord and disappears from the masked man view. Once we get 9 Bijuu, the sooner I reach my goal. He soon disappeared into a vortex. Korin was scolding Yajirobe about being lazy and not doing anything to help him with beans, then a man appeared in front of the 2 males. The guy said, hey Korin, do you have senzu beans? The white elderly cat says yes, Goku I have 3 left by the way, and I have a question for you. Who is this kid Goku? He tells him a quick explanation about what happened. Now I see, that's why I sense a strong Kai signature was coming from the blonde hair boy. Thanks you, I need to head home before I get chewed out by my wife Kai, and he laughs nervously, then he grabs Naruto and puts him over his shoulder using instant transmission home. He arrived at his home. I found a kid that had sent strong energy signature, but before he could continue his wife interrupted him. You don't know how much I was worried about you Goku, next time don't leave unannounced. This young man I found was unconscious and was ambushed by a group of masked men who were called ninja after he finished his explanation to Kai. She sighs, then says alright, Goku, but as soon he wakes up lets him know to come into the kitchen in a couple of hours and her husband agrees to her suggestion. Do you have a spare capsule? Her simple answer was yes, we have an extra capsule, thanks to Bulma. I am going to put him in my grandpa's old home since we don't have any room left here. He begins to leave his house to go to his grandfather's old home and grabs a capsule with the press of a button and throws it to the ground to puff smoke. A single bed appears and lays him on the bed. Then he leaves the blonde for the day. Back in Hidden Leaf. Brute Base. Danzo was furious when his subordinate informed him that the mission was a failure. The Jinchuriki was caught by a strange man with sharp hair and a strange outfit in orange GI blue. As the Mask Anbu captain finished his report, the leader of the organization speaks. The Warhawk said you should remain hidden just in case. The Hawkage might send a group to get the container back into the village 4 years from now, but the main important thing is to keep an eye on Sasuke Uchiha. The captain bows before his master then disappeared into the smoke. I hope things go as praised as planned. Konoha Hospital. Sakura and Kakashi visit to see Sasuke Uchiha at the hospital like every other Jonin sensei and genuinely see if their comrades were alright. Some of the retrieval teams are recovering very slowly, but Shikamaru was only a minor injury. The lazy Chunin muttered troublesome under his breath after their success in capturing the Uchiha, but in the process nearly got them near-death experience. The Nar realized their life more for being a shinobi that they have to make the tough decision for their group comrades, thanks to his father and Tamari, convincing him not to quit the shinobi path. Sorry about that, back to Sakura and Kakashi. The 2 members slide the door open to see the traitor teammate. Sasuke just wakes up by the noise when the door opens, but he notices the 2 people he didn't want to see at all. The one who spoke up was Kakashi, then said, so you were willing to abandon your comrades and village just to get power to get revenge on your brother. The Uchiha was in a rage, then said shut up, don't you dare act as if you know me Kakashi. Sasuke calmed down and said to Haruno in concern. The Uchiha gave her an angry look in his eye with killing intent that brought the Kunoichi to her knees, then she begins to cry. Kakashi tells his student Sakura to leave this room for a better day. She tried to protest, but Kakashi gave her a serious look and told her there was no time for debate. After she left the room, Kakashi was about to continue, but Anbu appeared before him, then said Kakashi, the Lady Tsunade had summoned you with other team leaders to a meeting that is urgent. Silver Hair nods to Anbu, then he disappears in a whirl of leaves. Kakashi disappeared puff of smoke. The copied ninja arrived at the meeting on schedule. Lady Tsunade had Anbu put a barrier seal on the wall protection important information from being linked out after they left the room. She starts telling them that Naruto Uzumaki was banished from the village and that he left already 1 hour ago. All sensei had a different reaction, but they let her continue. I decided to banish him. Then she finished, about to start telling them that the Akatsukis are about to make a move in 4 years, thanks to the Jiraiya spy network. We must be prepared to stop them at all costs. They all nodded and took off, except for Kakashi. Lady Tsunade asks Haddock for anything on his mind. The silver-haired chose his word wisely and then said about Naruto, and how did he take this message of his banishment? He was motionless and because I was afraid for his safety as surrogate mother. If only I had been better teacher to each of you Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura, none of this would have ever happened. Hospital. Sasuke room. Sasuke was furious at his blonde teammate after their duel about 4 weeks ago. He curses his name for not achieving his goal to kill his brother. But the young Uchiha failed to notice that the one he swore to kill was right beside him. You are so arrogant, just like the rest of our clan, with a familiar emotionless tone. Itachi, said Sasuke. He was about to use hand seals, but he realized that his chakra was sealed off. He curses under his breath. Foolish little brother, you are too naive and too weak to compare to me. You dare to show your face after everything you have done to our clan, you bastard. Are you here to finish the job to kill me off like mom and dad? No, but I'm here to show you the truth by using the Mangekyou Sharingan of all the events that happened when you were little. The young prodigy wanted to protest on the matter at hand, but he had to agree that he can't use his chakra, and he restrained to the bed. So, he kept his guard up just in case it was a trick. The missing Nin activated Tsukiyomi and his memories of Sasuke. The young raven-haired was shocked that his brother was ordered to kill his family to protect his little brother. Sasuke was furious at the ordeal thanks to Danzo. I have a new purpose to fulfill, to kill that old bastard when the time comes. Thank you, Itachi, for showing me the truth. Now I understand why the clan was killed, because you didn't have any choice in the matter. No need for praise, you know I'm an enemy of Konoha, but it is my time to say farewell for now. He disappeared into crows after he left. For now, I need to get stronger and avenge my family, said Sasuke with determination. 439 East District near Mount Paozu. 5 hours later in Grandpa Gohan's old home. Naruto finally wakes up from a long nap. He starts to stretch his joints back in place. After finishing his stretches, he gets a knock on the door. Naruto opens the door to see the same man from earlier today. Hey, I'm glad you're up, my family and I are waiting for you in the kitchen. Naruto was about to pass the offer, but his stomach started growling, blushing in embarrassment. He nods his head to the man and then follows him to the kitchen. Kai just finished cooking lunch for everyone. At that moment her husband and the knucklehead team came to the table. Let me introduce you to my family, my wife Chichi, my children Gohan and Goten. I almost forgot my name's Goku. Nice to meet you. After the introduction from the man. Should I give them my name? Leave me alone, you stupid brat, I need my beauty rest, said the fox in an annoyed tone. Shut up, your lazy fox answers me, or I'm going to call you by your favorite name. Iubi scoffs, do whatever you want. I could care less about your human emotions, but you must do me a favor. What's that, stupid fox? You must reveal your secret, give up that so-called outfit, you need to read books, educate yourself, and finally stop hiding those emotions and that stupid smile. Naruto retorted that he wanted me to lose the nice people that gave me kindness, other than the old man third, granny, pervy sage, etc. that treat me like a human. Listen, you ungrateful brat, the man called Goku, I sense pureness of heart from this man, but not only him, his wife, and 2 sons. Fine, you win this round if I find out you trick me or deceive me in any form, just to let you out of that cage. It's a deal, now stop talking to me. Are you okay, said Goku. I am sorry, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you all. It is good to be acquainted with you, Naruto. I have a question for you, why do I sense some dark energy from you, asked Goku. The blonde finally answered the question of man, and he started from the very beginning of his life to the very end. After he finished his story. I'm deeply sorry for you, Naruto, that you went through all that pain at an early age, just to be treated like a monster. Never listen to people that don't understand that you have no choice in the matter for the sake of protecting everyone from the Nine-Tails beast, said Kai. At least you people understand the difference between a kid and a monster, said Naruto. I want you to stay here for at least a month to help you around the house and teach me the basics of stuff I never got to learn in my whole life. Gohan, you should be able to help this young man out, his mom suggested. I don't mind since I'm alright done with my studies. That should be the best time to tutor him. I don't want a kid like you to waste your life just in fighting, but also to hit those books as well, and never forget your promise, Naruto, okay? Kai spoke in a very innocent tone. Middlemen, teenagers and the tail beasts present in the room experience a chilling sensation in the air. She is scary with that evil smirk, all said in unison in their thoughts. You should stretch your muscles to get rid of the tension, to relax the body, to ease the pain, and you should take deep breaths as well. It works, that is something I do when I am stressed out. Goku suggested. As Naruto followed the advice of the more experienced fighter, he began to stretch his shoulders, legs, back and feet, making it somewhat reduce his anxiety and stress. But the main thing is that breathing in and out helps just as much. Thank you, it really helps clear my mind. I guess never put too much mind into stuff like this because I thought it was a waste of time, but now it was worth it. In Turtle School we don't master martial arts to win fights, but to conquer ourselves. I will help your strategy, how to dodge and improve your speed and reflex skills to go even far beyond. The young blonde smiled bright like the sun and was very determined to achieve a declaration from Goku who will teach him personally, something he wished somebody helped him like that instead in order to improve, but show him the way. Mama, yes Gohan, I guess dad still has got away with words by inspiring people. That father of yours didn't always have the way to communicate people before, but it took people to help him to understand the outside world, with help along to make him smart with the Dragon Balls, but with help of Mr. Popo, helped him to educate him to understand all the important things about life, family, friends and in general. I guess you're right, but I want to get to know Naruto because he is very similar to me. It's like dad and I but balanced personality to us both. You may be onto something Gohan, you sure are not a judge of character. Kai agreed with her oldest son. Goku teaches Naruto a bit of Kai control that he learned by Kanu. But to Naruto's surprise, he couldn't control it thanks to the interference of the Kai-Ubi chakra. You should ask the Kai-Ubi to help you out to combine yours and his chakra and Kai into one element if possible. He thought of the idea, but he accepted the offer. He grabs the scroll to enter his mind. Then he began to meditate, then suddenly, he appeared in front of the Kai-Ubi. What do you want, Brad asked the demon fox. You and I can produce an agreement on something of some sort. My sensei suggests that I and you should combine your chakra and my Kai into one form. So, you want me to agree with you, Brad, and why should I trust you? Shut up, your furball, I beg you to teach me to control your power, I will do anything. I like it when the brat begs the Kai-Ubi in a humorous tone. Okay, I will agree, but you must call me Lord Kurama for now. After the proclamation of the Kai-Ubi, the blonde had no choice but to accept his fate. 3 hours later, he gets benefits from Lord Kurama's chakra. He was able to control 2 tail states, which helped him overall. He thanks him and then leaves the mindscape. Time skips. For the past few weeks, the blonde made a success of his goal to be stronger and smarter at the same time. He learns all middle and high school topics that he needs to know to prepare himself for school in the future. He was able to control 4 tails chakra with the fox's guidance now, they even managed to control his Kai as well, way better than before, and kept his ninja training. Kai even gave him advice about girls' manners, and Goku gave him strategy tips. After finishing his daily studies and training, he decides to see a little Goten that looks a lot like Goku. He began to gesture to the boy into a big hug that made the 3-year-old happy to see that friend, Gohan, as a friend of mine. In Konoha couples weeks ago. Sasuke was in his bed at the hospital. Think of diverse ways to get stronger. But before he could produce a plan, he was interrupted by a familiar voice by his sensei. The young Uchiha scoffs at the man's idiotic and lectures him about the principles of abandoning your comrades and teamwork. Kakashi speaks to his falling student and then says, you should respect me as your superior, but instead I will tell you about Naruto. This brought his arrogant student's attention to his rival. I have shocking news about this, but unfortunately, he was banished from the village. The Uchiha was shocked by the proclamation. This boy was furious that he could get a rematch, but also lost his second brother and the only person that understood his loneliness. Kakashi finishes by saying that the Elder Council had planned to banish him. The copy ninja gave his student advice and then disappeared in a puff of smoke. At Yukinku-Q, translation means grilled meat. The teams of Guy, Kurenai, Asuma, and one member from Kakashi were all discussing mistreatment of a certain Naruto Uzumaki. The Jonin leaders were sad that the event happened to loyal shinobi of their village that deserved better. Many of them had discussions among themselves about the situation. We should overcome this obstacle somehow, asked Lee. It is troublesome not to try, but we must plan logically to return to Naruto with the approval of the Hokage. I agreed with Shikamaru, but in other words, we must train hard and think smarter, asked Shoji. The Nara nods at his friend's suggestion. Everyone agreed to the suggestion from their comrades. End of flashback. Many of the Konoha 11 are beginning their training even harder than ever before. Sasuke was released from the hospital 5 minutes ago, but he wasn't allowed to go by himself since the Anbu escorted him to his home due to his actions of leaving the village. He was suspended on ninja duties and under supervision. "I guess I had it coming," asked the annoyed Uchiha. "My vessel was taken back to the village by that brat. If I ever see that blonde kid, I will kill him in a heartbeat." Sitting on his throne in rage, Lord Orochimaru asked his loyal servant. "Have you discovered anything?" "Yes, I have, and it will be a fascinating discovery. Go right ahead, Kabuto." The silver head nodded to his master. "As was headed to base, I have run into a man have a unique Kekkei Genkai that can copy bloodlines with the touch of a person. This man is known throughout the elemental nations, known as the man called Bloodline Copycat." The snake Sannin licks his lips in amazement. "I should make this man my next vessel if he can copy bloodlines. Does he happen to be here?" "He is outside the hall, my lord." "Send him here right now." A few seconds later. "Is it any honor to meet a famous snake?" Sannin asked the bulky man with a black cloak. "If you agree to have more power, I want you to be my next vessel for immortality." The man hesitates at first but shook his head before agreeing. "I have a mission for you, thief." "What's the mission, my lord?" "I want you to kill a certain man named Danzo Shimura." Obito gives this man the map to Konoha and the location of the route. Additionally, he must copy the last Uchiha's abilities and personality traits to make loyal shinobi become a traitor. The 6-0 man puts the map on the back of his bag, the nods then disappear. Swirl of lightning. The route base. The bloodline thief has arrived at the base to disguise himself as the lone Uchiha boy in the shadows. He was ready to strike the target, but he was caught by the Anbu with a sword in his face. "Who are you and what are we doing here?" "I don't need to tell you anything." He went to hand seal in fast speed, fire style. Fireball jutsu. The giant fireball manages to burn the man into ashes. Danzo backs him up with him. "So, the lone wolf finally reveals his true colors with a Sharingan of yours. I will have that power to rule this village in my image, you brat." Killing him and bringing me his eyes now. The bounty hunter was ready for them, and he came with great speed using Chidori at all of them at the same time, like Kakashi in the Third Shinobi War. After continuing to kill all the roots without bringing a lot of bloodshed to the hidden base. The Warhawk wasn't surprised at the effort of the boy. "I guess I must defeat him myself since everyone failed me." The hunter slices the old elder's right arm off at great speed. "I was sent to kill you." Then he slices his neck and makes the man die in bloodshed. Then he uses one head seal to bomb the place. "My work here is done," said the hedge mercenary. Then disappeared into the smoke. The explosion had shocked the whole village into chaos. At the Hokage mansion. Tsunade sent here Anbu to investigate what was going on. About 5 minutes later. The cat and dog return and then brief them on the situation. "Lady Hokage, we have found footage of the whole event." She was watching the footage of Sasuke killing the Root and Danzo with no remorse. "You are ordered to arrest him without hesitation and do anything if he resists." "Yes, ma'am," they both said. He was relaxing on his couch watching TV when he got a knock on his door. "By the authority of our leader, you are under arrest for killing an elder Danzo of the Hidden Leaf." "Even if I killed him, why should I be still here in the Hidden Leaf?" said pissed off Uchiha. "If you resist, you are going to deal with the consequences." I slammed the door in their face, went to the window, and ran on the roots. The dog and cat knocked on the door and they realized he had escaped. They see him not too far from their distance. "I can't believe somebody framed me into thinking I killed him. I need to get evidence of whoever the person is going to use my techniques against that organization." Then a group of joining and Chunin surrounded the raven-haired. "Surrender now or we use force. Uchiha, even your brother can't save you now." "Oh wait, that's right, he massacred your family with no remorse. You are more alike than I expected from both of you." "Shut up, you don't know anything about my brother or me, and I'm being framed." "Sure, you are a brat, and just because you are from a famous clan doesn't mean we won't overlook your actions. I wish Itachi were behind bars before killing him." Laugh one of the Chunin. "Leave my brother's name out of your mouth," screams the raven-haired with a burst of air, blowing all the Chunin and Jonin away into unconsciousness. Then he passed out of the outburst. Then the green man saw the whole event in shock, impressed. "I have trained you just like I tried your Gohan," said the 7-0 tall. He grabs the raven-haired by his shoulder and then flies into the air out of Konoha. Throughout the village, news spread like wildfire. Genin, Chunin, and higher-ranked shinobi and Kunoichi dislike the last Uchiha. Lady Tsunade, the Uchiha last, was taken by a green man at Inguild Height. We even have some more footage of the Uchiha on tape. It was bizarre, but how could the kid know the Root's location if we have an outsider to find out the base? Don't tell me it could be my traitor of a teammate who sent a mercenary in disguise to frame the last Uchiha to become a traitor by killing the old Warhawk. Anbu sent me Anachi Yamanaka. The three disappear in a swirl of leaves. I hope we can find the underlying cause of the real identity of the real killer, the sooner the better. Secret base of sound. It looks like you succeeded in your mission, said Snake Sannin. That takes care of one problem, my lord. You did well in my loyal subject. It looks like I'm not finished yet, and why is that? Before he could continue. You are my next target. He created a yellow beam of energy into his palm like a Big Bang attack. You were so foolish to confront me, you're ungrateful traitor trying to betray me right after killing the one that betrayed my trust. What comes around goes around. I will have your body without you or not. He tries to bite him on his neck but gets a right hook in the face with great strength like his ex-team, but stronger. He lands on his feet with a broken jaw. It's over, you snake. You call yourself the Sannin and you are useless without your techniques. How do you know such information? I had spies in your ranks that you should have guessed. So, was it you, right, Kabuto? You shouldn't be surprised, and I have also been giving you poison in your medicine. You use me to get me out of the way to accomplish your goal. Ding, you are correct, as your reward is to be erased from my partner's hands. I will not be killed so easily. He began to fall to his knees by the effects of the poison and then violently coughed blood. Destruction wave. The bulky man screams his attack. The yellow beam came at great speed, erasing the legendary Sannin into existence. Finally, my job is done here. Let's get out of here and destroy the evidence. The silver-haired nod to his partner in crime. They both flew into the air. Then use their signature attack on the base and then destroy the place. It is time to remain low for now, just in case somebody sees that explosion, said Kabuto. They went back to the ground to remain less suspicious. Running at great speed, leaving nothing but dust. The lone former Demon King was in a clearing in the middle of nowhere, waiting for the young man to wake up from his unconscious state. He looks at the raven-haired boy that reminds him of himself in the past, but shook his head on the matter. I can sense darkness from him with vengeance, hate, sadness, and confusion. I can't change him by force, he must find his own destiny for a change. Moments later. Where am I? You finally awoke from a coma state, kid. He backflips to his feet to prepare for a fight. I don't know who you are or what you are planning, but I have been fooled my whole life in the village, and brother. Sasuke begins his hand seals. Rat, tiger, dog, ox, rabbit, tiger, fire style. Phoenix flower jutsu. A small burst of fire heads to the threat. You think that would work on me and I am amazed, but you underestimate me with your arrogant pride. Shut up, screamed the Uchiha. He manages to increase his chakra and then dash at the man to throw a punch, but the man dodges his attack and then continues with a 360-degree kick in the midair, but the man was much faster and had more experience in combat. He grabs him by the leg, then smirks, you have the nerve to fight me, you have no idea what I'm capable of, and now sit down, you ungrateful brat, added killing intent to his tone. The 13-year-old finally listened to the man's words. Time skips 15 minutes later. As you were wondering who I am, my name is Piccolo, also a Namekian from the planet Namek. Now, what's your name? My name is Sasuke Uchiha, the last of my clan. Why did you bring me here in the middle of nowhere anyway? First, I saw potential in you, and second, I want to help to control that power you unleashed by those ninjas that you knock unconscious. The raven-haired finally remembers everything until he unleashed the energy of air over his body, blows the Jonin and Chunin off the roof, then also passes out unconsciously. Now the third reason is I don't want to be anywhere near civilization like cities, buildings, and loud noise. What's to be expected from this training of your Piccolo? Training begins tomorrow and I won't go easy just because you're former ninja and I will be hard on you. Pause, to past your limits to ground up and you wish that you were dead. Evil chuckles come from the Piccolo. He's even worse than Zabuza. Demon of the hidden mist. Every morning the blonde wakes up at 10:30 to train with his sensei, as always willing to learn a new technique like flying. He can only do it for 5 minutes, which isn't bad for the first time, but need more control over his kai. After doing some training exercises, he returns to the house to take a bath from a long day's work. Time skip 4 hours later. He was outside laying down on the grass enjoying the cool air, wondering what's he going to do next, but before he could think of the idea he was interrupted by his best friend Gohan. Hey bro, my mom wants to speak to you about something. Okay, tell her I'm on my way, and his friend just leaves. Moments later at the Sun residence. You are finally here, Naruto. You need to tell me something, Miss Kai. I like you to come to the mall with Gohan and I to get you some new clothes for you. No problem ma'am, I don't mind going to the mall, and I hope someday I will pay back doublefold. You earn this for studying with my son after all, and help around the house gives you all the quirks. Where is that husband of mine when I need him the most? Goku just appeared in front of her out of nowhere, scary the woman almost to death. Sorry about that honey, I just drop off Goten at Ox King place. Please don't scare me like that again, and thank you for thinking of the idea to send him to dad's place. They all eventually went outside the house to the car to head to Orange City. An hour and a half later arrive in Orange City. The beautiful sights of modern buildings that Uzumaki has never seen in his whole, not even Konoha, didn't look like that in comparison. From restaurants, schools, bars, shops and etc. I'm in love with this beautiful city that made my day not even at the mall, and it is still good. I guess teaching you geography has paid off, right mom? Yes of course son. They finally made it to their destination with the help of Goku. They pulled a vehicle to the parking spot of the giant mall, making the blonde even more amazed. I have never been so happy in my life. Thank Goku, Kai, and Gohan for helping along. The Sun family were shocked by the appreciation that made them happy. Anytime kid. The four individuals finally reached the mall entrance. The blonde was excited to see many restaurants, clothes shops, electronics, jewelry, karaoke, and an arcade area. This is paradise to me, thought the last Uzumaki. Yes, it is a kid, and can you please shut up? I'm trying to sleep. Your wish is my command of my lord in a mocking tone. For that, you are going to be trained to the bone from now on, the brat. The blonde was in fear of the fox's proclamation. Before he could rant about the matter, an irritated female said, "Hey Naruto, I've been calling your name 6 times. I'm sorry Mrs. Kai. I was talking to the folks," he whispered in his ear. "Alright, first, we are going to shop for clothes for Naruto, then you can explore places you like to go to after we're done." The three males nod in agreement with those terms. Atakawa Fuku translates clothes in Japanese, back to the story. "Hey, welcome to Akawa Fuku, what I can do for you," said the female at the cash register. "I would like a blonde-haired kid to find his size of clothes." "Okay, ma'am, right this way, and you are too handsome," said the woman, blinking at the young man. Naruto was blushing red in embarrassment at the compliment. Time skipped 2 hours later. After going through every store, they headed to the food court to get something to eat and rest. Goku and Gohan were ready to eat for the rest of the time. People at the food court watching the two Saiyans eat like it isn't tomorrow, making them all drop sweat, and one of them said those guys eat like they are garbage disposal or vacuum cleaners. Another person said these guys could join a food eating contest if they ever wanted to. Many others muttered to themselves in agreement with the idea, but also saw the heroes of Earth from far away. I never got used to it with those two. The blonde was making an order at the counter. He gets himself chicken curry and heads to the table of his best friend and his sensei. After the three males finish eating their meals, Goku says that the spot isn't Gohan. "Yes, Dad, that was a great meal. I wanted to go to the karaoke to sing my heart out," said the blonde. "I didn't know you sang, which means you took a singing lesson." "Yes and no, I have been doing voice exercises in my spare time. I won't believe it until I see it for myself." They let the adults know that they were heading to the karaoke cafe. Nearby, a long blonde-haired girl with blue eyes and a raven-haired girl with blue eyes twin pigtails were headed to the karaoke cafe as well. "Ladies, we'd like to have fun with you," said the gang leader. "What is the meaning of this scream?" the dark-eyed girl. "We want to escort you to your destination," said a big fat man with desire in his eyes. "That's it, we had enough of your sick intentions." She gets into a fighting stance at the big guy, then with speed, she kicks him with her left leg, but the guy catches her in the act. Then she flips over with a back kick to his neck, knocking the guy on his back. Then one of the smaller guys came with great speed to try to catch the young teen off guard, but failed with her punch to the nose. "Videl helps me," screamed blonde. "Surrender or the girl gets hurt by your hands if you refuse," said the leader, holding a knife over her neck. "I will surrender, but don't you dare lay a finger on my friend Erasa." "Okay, we won't hurt the girl." The leader snaps his finger to give the signal to his followers to grab her by her hands with force to let her know who the boss in the kingdom is. "We got them to know we can do whatever we want. Hold it right there you scum. Who are you no good spoiled brats? That's not important, now we are going to stop you from getting sick intentionally because of those strong beautiful ladies." Both Videl and Erasa blushed at the stranger's declaration. "You're not going to do anything to us, boys. You knock these wimps into shape." All 7 guys came at them at the same time, but unknown to them, these guys are extraordinarily strong individuals. Gohan makes the first move with great speed at 3 of them by kicking one of the guys in the nuts, punching the other one in the gut, and the last one in the first without breaking much sweat. Naruto does something like his sensei fighting stance does without wasting much energy. "These guys are monsters," said one of the males, running away from the scene. "Now surrender or we will go all out with the others. I refuse to believe that you two brats beat my men." As he was going to continue his rant, the 2 male teens added killing intent to the leader and the remaining lackeys, making them piss in their pants. "Alright, you win, we will never harm anyone, great sirs." The men release the girls from their grips and run after the leader like cowards. "Are you two alright?" "Yes, and thanks to you guys for your help." "No problem. Good thing we were near the karaoke. Your parents are worried about you guys." "You could say blonde." "I would like to introduce myself, my name is Videl Satan, and this is my friend Erasa Sito. My name is Son Gohan, and this is Naruto Uzumaki. Hey, Naruto, there is something I would like to give you as a reward." "What's that Erasa?" She kissed the whisker boy on the cheek. Making him blush, then stutter, "No problem. I would do anything for any one of you. He said the last thing in his thoughts. We were heading to the karaoke to see my friend if he was telling the truth and if he could sing, but they overheard everything. Would you like to join us? I don't mind the idea. That's fine, Erasa, she told her longtime friend, if you don't do anything sick behind our backs. Okay, we understand. Wait a minute, Son Gohan the Gohan. That saved the world from the cell along with your father, Son Goku. The young hybrid Saiyan nodded to confirm the blonde girl's suspicions. Now that you mention it, I have noticed a few glances a while ever since the defeat of that evil monster. Videl has been annoyed ever since that her father claimed to save the earth but got humiliated in disgrace, but she had to admit that the son of Goku was quite strong, but in her thought find him cute even though she has a straight face on the outside, but she could keep her eye off him. Erasa, smiling at her with a smirk in a teasing way and a glance at her look at the hero of the world. I think you have crushed one of the cutest boys I have ever seen. Shut up, she blushed with a small tint of red on her cheeks on her pale skin. Videl turns around, then she speaks in authority. Are you three coming or not? Make the two males feel chills and follow the two girls. A week has passed since they saved two acquaintances from thugs at the mall. Naruto and Gohan are both outside in the valley 10 miles away from the home of Goku and Kai Kai. His best friend helps with his training while his sensei trains at his own pace. Are you ready for the next phase of train, my friend? Okay, what's it going to be, asked the blonde. I am going to teach you a technique I was taught by Piccolo. The same one has taken you by forcing you to train at age 4. The only Namekian trained me to the bone, said black hair nervous tone. Gohan demonstrates the technique he used against Nappa. Masenko, he called out his signature move. The yellow energy of the blast heads to the giant rock with great ease, leaving nothing but ashes on the grass. That's the way, plus it has been years since I used this technique. You are so cool with that move and pretty strong as well. He laughs at the blonde antics that remind him so much of his father. Alright, now just summon your shadow clones to do the technique and the others to keep practicing on your Kai control, to make it easier for you. We don't want that to happen again when my dad teaches you Kai Blast and you use too much Kai, then blow up in your face. Thanks for caring for my well-being. No problem, Naruto, I've just worried about your safety. Multi-shadow clone jutsu, 60 clones appears right next to the original. 30 on my left, focus on the amount of control of the technique, they said hi. The rest of you focus on Kai control, the other clones nod. When you're finished making sure you all dispelled one at a time, I don't want to have a headache like last time. They all nod to their boss and begin training. You are so lucky to have a technique that helps you out faster than anybody in the world, said Gohan. I'm an unpredictable former ninja of the leaf for nothing. Kakashi sneezed, I wonder who said that. In the mindscape. The dark figure cursed under his breath. I need to get free somehow. So, you finally appear, Yami, long time no see, said the Kyuubi. I'm glad for the praise, never mind the can you send the good half to me to have a duel. Sometimes I wish you were the guy I would speak to instead to talk your good half, brat. I need to achieve my goal, then once I win and nobody is going to stop me from destroying the village, said Yami with an evil laugh. As he continued to chat with Gohan about the past events of their lives. He was interrupted by a recognizable voice. Oh, what do you want, fuzzball? I don't have time for your idiotic antics, there is somebody who wants to see you in the mindscape, said the fox. So, let me guess, it is the Dark Naruto, right? Both the Nine Tails and Yami were in shock at the blonde proclamation. I was wrong, thought the Dark Naruto. Why shouldn't I be surprised by my dark half? He has the same emotions I have tried to hide for years now, wanting to destroy the village and even thinking of killing those ignorant villagers for my pain and suffering. He has every right to, but I'm not going to let him do anything he pleases without a fight. I must overcome my dark past and tell him when we should start this match, he said to the Nine Tails. He communicated to Yami what the good half said. The fox finishes the conversation with a Dark Naruto mind link. He spoke to his host and then said he would be ready in 2 days. He answers him. I will be ready by then. Time skip, 2 days have passed. Naruto entered his mindscape that afternoon to meet the darkness of his consciousness for the first time. Yami has given the original an evil smirk at him, ready to beat him finally. As they were looking at each other for the fight to begin. The demon fox says, are you two ready for this match? They both nod. Begin, he said. They both move at great speed to clash their fists, creating a shockwave. They both backflip in unison. Yami throws a Kai blast at the blonde, but he dodges and deflects some of them with no problem. The other half is amazed, but he decides to use a body flicker to teleport to kick him off balance, but a puff of smoke appears. A shadow clone, he curses under his breath. Then, the real Uzumaki appears out of nowhere and punches him in the chin in midair, then jumps at him to give him a nice beating, but to his surprise, the dark half said solar flares at the eyes of the blonde to blind him temporarily. I'm so glad that Goku-sensei taught us that technique, said Yami. It's not over yet, and don't get so cocky just because you blind me doesn't make you are the victor, said an irritated Naruto. As they continued the fight, they moved so fast that even the demon fox couldn't keep up with them. I feel so alive in this fight, isn't it right my goody two-shoes? You sound like Gaara before he turns into his full tail state. Gaara sneezed. It doesn't matter. He was too weak for us, you know that in this world power only matters. Now, you sound like the Uchiha who was supposed to be my friend, but guess I can't change everybody. You should now surrender, or I will force you to take over your body. I will not let you take over my mind or let you do what you please, said Naruto. You chose the hard way. You are so naive, and you still want to protect that place after all the glares, the whispers, the hate, and the loneliness. There is no reasoning from you at all. I must use the big guns, said Yami in a furious tone. He begins to power up with a dark aura screaming at the top of his lungs with a demonic sound that makes Naruto shiver in fear for a moment. Naruto begins to power up as well in a wide aura scream as well. The whole mindscape begins to shake the whole area like an earthquake. He creates a dark Rasengan with one hand and laughs at evil at the achievement. Naruto finishes his power up to the max. Yami senses his power, which is weaker than himself. I guess it's time to beat naivety by force. The evil half was ready to finish him off, but before he could, something stopped him in his tracks. Naruto clones appear and then grab him by his legs and arms. Where is he getting this power from, he screams. You still don't get it because my precious people saved me from my darkness, you idiot. The evil half was shocked and surprised. Granny Tsunade, Pervy Sage, Iruka, and everyone that treated me with respect helped me. Even if I don't like the villagers, that doesn't mean I will take petty revenge for anything, and that will prove to them that I am a monster. Let me go, I refuse to listen to what you have to say. He curses at the blonde. Kurama, help me, please. I beg you. The giant fox opens his mouth for the first time, then says you should never trust a demon, you idiotic Dark Knight, the fox mocked. Before he could continue to curse, a yellow Rasengan hits his chest with force, making Yami surprised again. How are you doing this? I am not the same kid I was in Konoha because I decided to change my ways and style by not being a ninja, but by becoming stronger without having a lust for power like Orochimaru. I became strong because I have Goku-sensei, Mrs. Kai, Gohan, and little Goten are like a family I never got the chance to experience. They understand my pain, loneliness, sadness, and hatred. You're right, the dark half, then he begins to cry for the first time ever in his life. Naruto gives him a similar embrace to his dark half as he did in the anime. Thank you for showing me the true value of what's important to me, and I can finally be free from my grudge. The white light appeared from nowhere, then the former evil waved goodbye, but before disappearing he said, you're the number one unpredictable person that can change me with a few words. As he leaves, Kurama speaks. He was in his thoughts. This child is about to change the world with compassion and a selfless attitude. He reminds me of his sacrificed father as he smiles at himself. Hey kid, you earn my respect. My name is Kurama, he said to Naruto. I finally got your name, and what's the reason for it? Because you remind me of somebody I knew in the past. Recap. Flashback. I became strong because I have Goku-sensei, Mrs. Kai, Gohan, and little Goten are like a family I never got the chance to experience. They understand my pain, loneliness, sadness, and hatred. This kid is about to change the world with compassion and a selfless attitude. End. Recap. Naruto wakes up from his mindscape and begins to get off the ground, stretching his whole body, and heads to the Sun family home. He finally arrived for lunch to see the mother of Gohan and Goten, waiting for him and their father-husband to arrive. Hey, Miss Kai, was I late? Asked the blonde. No, just in time. T22 came the moment I finished setting the food on the table. Have you seen Master Goku by chance? Before anybody could reply, Goku appeared from thin air, appearing right behind Naruto. Sorry, I'm late, I have a long chat with King Kai about the new training session. He laughs nervously. He sounds like lazy Jonin, I know. Kakashi sneezed. I wonder who is talking about me, he asked himself to read his itchy paradise. You also just came just in time for lunch. You're fortunate it wasn't any later, you will be sorry. It won't happen again, I promise, he declared. Then his wife sighed and shook her head. Sometimes I wonder why I still love you and why I keep complaining. Everyone male facepam in disbelief. After she finished her rant, they began eating the satisfying meal of the day. Moment later. Thank you for the meal, milliseconds Kai, and I should help you out with these dishes. Sit there, and you should relax. You shouldn't have, I wish Goku could help me out like that, she gives a response to the blonde. As I said before, I will pay you back one day, don't worry, it is my right as your guest, and you are like a second mother, sensei like a father, Gohan and Goten are like brothers. The middle-aged woman begins to cry herself with joy. Did I say anything wrong? Asked the blonde in confusion. She begins to wipe her tears and then shakes her head. Nothing wrong, you just surprised me, that's all. From now on you should call me aunt. Unknown to the two people, her husband and her sons watched the whole time in the living room and all of them had a smile on their faces. Scene change. Goku has decided to reveal himself to his student and wife. Hey, that's nice of you to take me like a dad, the man chuckles to himself. Oh my god, don't scare us like that sensei, the blonde screams slightly to his sensei. Sorry kiddo, I didn't mean to startle you, but before he could continue, he gets knocked on the door. I wonder who that could be, the 13-year-old asked, then opens the door to two familiar individuals. The white spiky hair ponytail male with an oil kanji headband stands 6'3" in height and another man with a scar over his nose stands at 5'10". Pervy sage, Iruka-sensei, the boy cries out with tears in his eyes. How did you know this place? Slow down kid, just wait for the moment, we need some food and rest for a bit, the toad sage declared. He let the two men enter the house, I thought would never meet my favorite two people again. The door was shut once Naruto closed it. Who are these guys and why did you let them in? Kai asked in concern. I'm sorry, Miss Kai, but let me introduce these two guys. Iruka-sensei is my academy teacher and Jiraiya is my godfather's old perv. The old toad sage covers his godson's mouth before he can continue his rant. That was a close one, the spy master muttered to himself. What was that I heard, asked Kai in a demanding tone. Before toad sage could explain, the blonde disappears into a puff of smoke. The real Naruto appears right next to Goku. I created a shadow clone just in case something out of the ordinary happens. Iruka was shocked and surprised, my favorite student had grown up only in a brief time since he was banished. As I was saying, since my clone got interrupted, that's pervy sage, he writes that smut of a book, even proclaims himself as the super pervert and even peeks at women for research at hot springs. After Naruto finished his introduction, the room got cold with killing intent. So, you that pervert that Naruto tells me about, and you better run fast before she cracks her knuckles. You will pay for this. Naruto then ran outside the front, leaving smoke behind him, then Kai ran with great speed, leaving flames behind her. He screams in fear for his life, help me. As Lady Tsunade sat in the hidden leaf, she was in a bad mood until she felt her angry woman instinct kick in, then she grinned, I hope my old perverted teammate gets the beating of his life. Jiraiya sneezes as he continues to run for his life until he sees the angry Kai in full fury. The woman appears right before him, making the flying Raijin look like child's play. He gulps and screams to himself, why me, he wonders. The housewife did not want to hear his excuses. A few moments later. When Goku, Iruka and Naruto arrived at the scene, they were shocked and terrified by what had happened to Jiraiya. It looks like multiple beasts attacked him at the same time. I will never make any female mad for anything, all three males declared in unison. They retrieved the toad sage back to Grandpa Gohan of the house to bandage the man up. Having finished him up, they all went back to the Sun's family's main home. I am sorry about the way things went, missing Kai. Nice to meet you, Iruka-sensei. Naruto has told me a lot about you and how you are a role model to him. He laughs nervously, that's great of him to give me such respect. He's like a little brother to me, but I also like a father in his life. With a question in her head, the blonde asked, what are you and the old pervert doing here? For the time being, I think I should wait until Lord Jiraiya is fully recovered. Hey, giving him this bean when he wakes up, that will be in full strength, no problem at all. Before coming to this place, I had been attacked by masked ninjas and I had a senzu bean that helped me recover. You were attacked, when did this happen? Asked his former sensei. Following my banishment from the village, I was ambushed by a group of emotionless ninjas. They demanded I see Lord Danzo. I just remembered the late third telling me about that man when I first started the academy, warning me about his evil intentions to make me his mindless slave. My mind at the time wasn't too interested in the idea, but I'm glad I got the old man's warning, even though I was a stupid kid. As a result of my refusal of their offer, they attacked me. Despite my shadow clones and Rasengan's help, I was sealed unconscious by one of them. The rest of the story is told by Goku. After he finished the story, the academy instructor sighed in relief at his little favorite student. The man bows down and thanks the married couple for their gratitude. It would be no problem if it weren't for my instant transmission technique. But for now, hey, Gohan gives this bean to Naruto's godfather when he wakes up. I like you and your sensei to meet my friend. I teleport to her location. Capsule Corporation. Vegeta waited outside for his father-in-law and wife to upgrade the gravity chamber so that he could surpass both Kakarot rival sons. Are you finished? Asked the irritated Saiyan prince. We finished, asking his wife father-in-law in unison. Finally, thank you, he whispers to himself. I didn't know you could be such gentlemen, she teases her lover. He scoffs, I am only going to say this once more, thank you, he said with a flustered face. "Oh, that's sweet of you." She gives him a kiss on the cheeks. Vegeta tch under his breath, then walks into the gravity chamber. "Hey Bulma," the familiar voice appeared right behind her. "Goku, what are you doing here and who are these two individuals?" "The one on the right is Iruka, a former ninja, and the one on the left is my new student with whiskers marks is my student Naruto Uzumaki." "Naruto and Iruka, it's nice to meet you," she said. "Goku, you have some explanations for doing and why you sent them here in the first place." Finally, the Saiyan warrior speaks and explains they are foreigners from a different continent and don't have a place to stay. "I was wondering if you still have your old capsule for a house for them." "Oh, okay, but you owe me a favor," she said to her longtime friend. "Are you offering me a job by any chance? Because if it is, then that will help Kai relax for a while." "I got the job for you as a security guard to patrol the place just in case some revival company tries to steal from my family company. It's good that Oolong wishes me to be smart during the altercation against the Pilaf gang many years ago." She laughs at her friends and nods in agreement with those great adventures they had. Dressing more professionally is essential for a part-time job. As Goku was about to refuse, he decided it was best for him, and even his wife knew that, so he nodded. "I will be right back," the only woman said, looking for the capsule for the two guests. As Naruto spoke for the first time, Goku-sensei asked how long the two of you had been friends. "She and I have been friends since we met at Mount Paiz." "I'm back," she gave to former sensei of Knucklehead X Ninja. Her demonstration was like what she did in the original Dragon Ball series. "Please accept my sincere thanks." "What can I do to repay you, ma'am?" a former Ninja Academy teacher answered. "No, it's okay, it was a token for you to meet you both. It is time to leave and grab me onto my shoulders." Then both males nod and Goku all disappear before the woman's eyes. At Grandpa Gohan's old home. Having just awoken from his temporal coma, Jiraiya recalls the events of the powerful housewife Kai, but curses his godson for betraying him so quickly under his breath. "When I get my hands on that brat, he wishes he never did me so dirty," he mutters to himself. Suddenly, the door opens, putting the old shinobi on guard, but he sees a teenager the same age as Naruto, then sighs in amazement. "Are you Master Jiraiya by any chance?" the Raven asked the older man. "Yes, and who are you anyway, kid?" "I will give you a bean that will heal your injuries and allow you to live without food for 10 days. It's great to meet you, I'm Son Gohan." After giving the man the bean, he leaves the house his great-grandfather once lived in. As Jiraiya examined the bean to make sure it wasn't a trap or poisoning, he ate it, nonetheless. As soon as he ate the bean, the effect was swift, making the older man feel young again. He does his famous dance when he meets Naruto for the first time. For some reason, Son Gohan sounds familiar to me and speaks to me in his thoughts. Back with Goku. They arrive back to Mount Paiz from a trip to Bulma. "It's great to be back, right guys?" the two younger males nodded to the man. "You should check on Jiraiya now and see if he is awake," he suggests to he only has one new student. "Don't bother," the familiar man ran to them. "So, you finally woke up, and I'm sorry about my wife, but let me introduce, my name is Son Goku, and I am glad to meet you, sir." "You look familiar as the grandson of Son Gohan by any chance?" he asked Goku. "Yes, I am. How do you know my grandpa?" he asked the man. "Do you have pictures of me by any chance?" he asked. "I should check if I do have a picture." He escorts the man to his home to confirm it is true. Iruka finally spoking up, "Is that strange to know the legendary Gohan? He was a man who came to elemental nations years ago. Why had I never heard of him before?" The blonde was in shock at the explanation by his former sensei. "You never pay attention to such a great man, so I shouldn't be surprised. Goku-sensei's grandfather is such a cool guy." The blonde with stars in his blue eye. Iruka sighs. "I guess you're still the old Naruto I know." "Iruka-sensei, can you test my result of training if you are up to it?" asked the blonde. "Alright, Naruto, let's get this," he sighs to himself. "Yes, thank you very much." Iruka-sensei almost hugged the man to death in excitement. Most of Naruto's personality is the same as canon, but slightly different. But back to the story. There is a nearby, clearly not too far from here. As they ran, the former Chunin almost died in amazement at the young blonde's speed. While this kid is full of energy and has a great heart, it is also a bad habit of his not to think of himself from time to time, but I'm sure the Sun family took care of that habit, I hope, asked former Sense in his thoughts. With a great breeze for the season fall, they made their way to the Green Valley-wide space. Compared to Konoha, this place is unbelievably beautiful. But Jiraiya and Goku. What happened to the legendary man? Is he still alive? Where is he now? The feeling of shame and sadness comes over Goku as he turns away from the older man. "Would you mind telling me what is going on with you and why you look very pale and gloomy?" "I accidentally killed him," Goku whispered. "I'm unable to hear your voice very well. Could you speak up?" I accidentally killed my grandpa when I turned into a giant ape by the full moon when I was a young child, he screamed in fury. Well, I know it is hard to believe, it is not for me because I didn't fully understand what happened until after I became an adult. I would prefer to show my memories instead, said Goku, finally calming down. Poor man, I guess, I took too far, no, said Jiraiya to himself with cold sweat. Are you very sure you didn't kill him on purpose, asked Jiraiya in a severe tone. I'm the Saiyan that was raised on Earth. I'm nothing like my brother Vegeta in the beginning that hurt people because they were strong. Grandpa Gohan was a father to me even though I never met my own father. And I don't care either, I have never met him. If I met my father, I could have turned out to be like my brother Raditz. Goku choked up, trying to keep his feelings in check. Iruka threw a flurry of punches and kicks. While Naruto has his eyes closed, he senses the punches while dodging them with minimal energy. Iruka punches the ground where Naruto is and the ground shatters. Naruto disappears in front of Iruka, then he looks around for him. Then he feels a tap on his shoulder. I got your sense. Naruto smiles. Iruka quickly tried to punch Naruto, but Naruto caught the punch with ease. Congrats Naruto, your training here has improved tenfold or even more. I'm so proud of you. In fact, if it weren't for Goku-sensei I wouldn't have been able to get this level of improvement I have now. Aw, Naruto. What about me? Iruka teased. Wait, I didn't mean to forget you, Iruka-sensei. You helped me a lot and I will never forget everything you did for me. Naruto bows deeply out of gratitude. Pick your head up Naruto, I'm grateful that you see me as someone significant to you. Naruto's stomach growls. Hey, we should head back and maybe get some ramen for now. Hey, sensei, since you are tired, let me help you off your feet. Naruto picks up Iruka and flies back to Goku's house. You let me down. Iruka looks down and holds tightly to Naruto. Never mind, just let's get back to the ground quickly as possible. Naruto nodded and they got back to Goku's house quickly. Naruto noticed the air was a bit tense and wondered why. Hey, Goku-sensei, what up? Jiraiya looks up. Nothing up Naruto, I'm just surprised about something. Jiraiya looks over to Goku. Yes, sure, everything is fine. Goku says reluctantly and walks off. Time skip. A few days have passed since the very tense feud between Goku and the Toad Sage. The wife of Goku had enough of Jiraiya and her husband's feud. She begins to march at the two idiots, making the two males sweat drop in fear, and she screamed at them, are you two going to grow up and handle peaceful matters? I'm sick of it. It is making it bad to give an example in front of the kids. You, pervert, should be ashamed of yourself to accuse my husband of being a threat and you are treating him like your village treats Naruto. The Toad Sage was in shock and surprise, making him realize that he is treating the man like his godson was an outcast in Konoha. As the housewife continues her rant, also Master Jiraiya, your godson also said that you once told him your friend was also good at one point in time, then turn evil. My husband once saved the world from a real threat like the Red Ribbon Army, Demon King Piccolo Jr., Raditz, Vegeta, Frieza, Dr. Gero, and even Cell. My husband even died once to save the earth. So, you see, he puts his life on the line even if it kills him. That's the reason I love that man, and he was the sole reason I continue my training, even if it is peacetime and this family is either save the earth or die trying. Why do you let this man bash you for your heritage, but don't make his light true? Nobody is born evil in this world. The woman takes a deep breath and leaves the living room to get a cup of water as she finished lecturing them like spoiled brats. Whenever my wife says something, the Saiyans laugh nervously. Jiraiya shook the Saiyan warrior's hand, looking at the man's apologetic expression on his face as the two adults apologized to each other civilly. Goku asked, I guess we should move on and learn from this mistake. You were right. It is a shame that I was unable to let go of my old friend. Despite not knowing it, Naruto, Iruka, Kai, and Gohan were watching the scene and glad the matter was over, if not for Mom Millisecond. Kai scolded my father godfather. Both Gohan and Naruto said their thoughts. But Jiraiya and Goku. The Toad Sage cleared his throat to get Goku's attention with a serious expression. Then the older man spoke. I need to tell you in private, asked the super pervert. Goku nods to the older man in agreement and leaves the house to discuss something especially important. They are both in the same area as Gohan Vidal learned flight training in canon. Back to the story. For the time being, I need you to train Naruto. A group of rogue ninjas are after people like Naruto and are in danger of an organization called the Akatsuki. I will be back in 6 months to gather more information about the enemy's movement. Tell Iruka is also in charge of my godson training and ninjutsu. In reverse summoning, the Toad Sage disappears. It's best for my only student to be prepared to fight for his life, thought Goku as he walked toward the house with the horrible news to share. Son, family. Goku heads back to his family just in time for the story. Daddy, you're back. He wanted to know if his great-grandpa was very famous, he asked his father. Then Goku answered, I do remember Grandpa telling me about shinobi and how powerful they were, also great friends, and he fought people in Budokai Tenkaichi, but I was a bit older than you, but I'm not sure myself. Now son, don't be so rude, scolding her youngest child. Sorry, but I am looking forward to learning this incredible story. So much like your father when we first met, Kai asked herself with a smile. I bet Iruka has better information about my grandfather than I do. Iruka cleared his throat. Over 60 years ago, when the Great Village was founded. Age 708 Prime Master Gohan. The second greatest martial artist, the one who became very well known. The Prime Son Gohan, a great man standing 5 to 11, 1.8 meters tall. He had a muscular stature and lean build and short wavy onyx hair with a natural and scruffy beard in his mid-30s, making him handsome and causing women to admire him or lust at his bright onyx eyes. He was wearing a blue dragon patterned tang jacket, black trousers, and loafers with embroidery of Tai-Kai arts. After finishing his daily chores, he starts packing for his journey to see the world for what it has in store for the new master of martial arts, and he reminisces about the continent of samurai ninja his teacher had once told him about. After arranging his stuff, he called out Flying Nimbus in a loud tone. A bright yellow cloud came at great speed, like a yellow flash, then he jumped on without difficulty, since he had a pure heart. I should say goodbye to the old master and Ox King before I head to the mysterious island of myth and legend and wonder how things will turn out without any issues. But since shinobi are very cautious, I must do the same to be on the lookout for dangerous foes. Alright, Nimbus, take me to my old mentor's island, he asked, and the cloud moved at great speed, making the man hold on tight in midair, past all the forests, heading south to his destination. On Training Isle. Tame House on Training Isle. Rashi is reading model magazines to see beautiful sights of pleasure, making him leave a bloodied nose. When the great master sensed a familiar Kai signature, he smiled. Hey, Ox King, he asked his youngest student, guess who's showing up? Before finishing his sentence, a familiar face appeared on a cloud. It had been a while since we last spoke, the first student said. The wise master was at the height 5'5", 1.65 meters, very wrinkled, bald and very skinny. He was wearing beach attire, a blue Hawaiian shirt, light khaki shorts, black flip-flops, and his signature red sunglasses with dark-tinted lenses. He jumps off the cloud and lands on the ground safely. What brings you here? Is anything significant? I should now ask the turtle hermit in a serious tone. The elderly man nodded, but for some reason, I felt I had been led to a destination I never expected. Okay, Gohan, you need to take it easy. You should not be rushing into things that could lead you into dangerous terrain and cost you your very life. Just keep my teachings to heart and beware. As he got up from his chair, heading back into his house. Leaving both of his only students to catch up on recent events, I guess this will be the last time we will see each, asked 11-year-old Ox King standing at a height of 6'0", a typical preteen, with reddish-brown hair, wearing orange guy of the turtle school crest. How are things for you, master, doing these past 2 years, he asked. Nothing much, just doing the standard training and old man Rashi's perverted antics just like always, but I hope we could do spar before you go on the long journey. Sure, why not? I want to see how much you improve, including the basic studies as well. Making the redhead brunette makes him sweat nervously about the very topics he hates, such as geography, math, science, history, etc., making tests his very limit, not just through physical labor from an old turtle hermit, but also by a man whose first student was insane. But also, when it comes to the topic of learning, he also knows not just being great with martial arts, but also the better of legendary man in the art of fighting and protecting others, but also great at education and very patient, yet gets very serious in the enjoyment of life. Master Rashi looked out the small window at the two students getting along together. I hope someday I will have a successor for the turtle school and also have the resolve to surpass our limitations, as well as uphold my school motto, he spoke in his thoughts. Unknown to the students, their teacher father figure was watching them in their turtle school fighting stance. The focus on the middle-aged man with onyx eyes was very calculated, his mind on what his surrogate younger brother could do and to see what he could accomplish in a short amount of time. As the two stared at each other, staring at who would make the first move, leaving such an intense environment, everything went dead silent. The Ox King then rushed because he couldn't wait any longer and tried to attack Gohan with his extraordinary strength. Gohan dodged a punch with incredible fitness, realizing the young lad has incredible raw strength, but still lacking control and focus. Ox King tried to kick Gohan as hard as he could, then Gohan dodged the kick. Then he jumps in the air and flips over the Ox King, hitting him in the back of the neck. Ox King kneels down, but then he rises up. Ox King rubs the back of his neck, but then he laughs, then turns around and smiles, ready to continue. Gohan smiles at Ox King, impressing his strength, then he starts to take it a bit more seriously. He took a deep breath in and out, then he rushed the Ox King. Ox King waits until the last second and he punches Gohan back. Gohan blocked the punch but he was pushed back. It still hurts a bit even blocking it. Ox King let out a loud cheer about hitting the legendary Gohan, and even though he blocked Ox King's punch, he was proud he got hit on. He stomped his foot as hard as he could, making the ground shake. He was getting riled up now. Gohan sighs and frowns. He was hoping Ox King wouldn't get cocky and try to stay calm, but he also knew this was an 11-year-old boy with incredible strength beyond normal men's 11-year, but he was still just a kid and got a lot of growing up to do. He then ran over to Ox King. Ox King smirks and he goes to strike Gohan at the last minute, but when punched, it was the image of Gohan. Some kind of afterimage, and Gohan put a bit more Kai in his finger and poked Ox King pressure point to take out his legs. Ox King then fell over and he tried to get up, but his leg was numb. "I surrender," said the defeated Ox King. "I am still not at your level, Gohan. It is not that you are not far from my level, it is that you are overconfident and lack self-control and focus. I was able to predict your moves and see your flaws like a book. That was one of the lessons I was taught by Master Roshi when I was your age. Move well, study well, eat well, and rest well. That's Turtle Master way. At least you are not a pervert like Roshi, but I see you as an older brother, but also a great teacher as problem," said Gohan, rubbing the back of his head in embarrassment. "Now let's just get you to the house so you can recover." He picks him up around the shoulders to help him enter the very house. After laying him down on the couch, he was about to head outside, but Roshi cleared his throat, then said, "There's something I want to give you before you go to protect yourself. This weapon I was given by Master Korin is called Power Pole, is a magical staff who created it. I gave it to you for your protection and safety of your journey. Remember this well. We don't master martial arts to win fights. We do it to conquer ourselves." Roshi explains how to use the bow and how to extend the magical staff increase to decrease. "Thanks master, for your great wisdom." He does the Sun family bow. "That's good, I was training with bow staff a couple years back," said Gohan in his thoughts. "Do you have a map of the ninja samurai continent in the world map?" The master gives the old world map to his first disciple of the X mark on the location to the southeast of Japan, not far from the old territory of the ancient wars that happened. "Well, that's all I need to thank you for everything and pray for my safety," as the old master nodded in agreement. "And one more thing, can you tell me this to Ox King that I have said goodbye for now, and I don't know how long this will take, but I hope someday I will tell you stories." As he leaves the home, the resident then jumps on the flying Nimbus, then waves his master off, then heads southeast to his destination. "Make me proud Gohan, you are like son I never had," said Roshi in his thoughts. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.